Todd Whittam here, owner and founder of Todd Whittam Tennis, also known as TW Tennis. In this clip, I would like to speak to you about kids that are winning way too much at a young age. This is a big problem. I can tell you that I got a call from a parent a couple of months ago, and he started telling me how great his kid was and that he had won all these matches in a row. It was an unbelievable amount of matches. And the first thing that I thought about when he told me this is, that's a mistake. At a young age, in say the 12 and unders or the 14 and unders, your child needs to be winning matches, but they also need to be losing. And if you're winning way too much at a young age, that can be a big problem. And you want to know why? Because at a young age, maybe your child has had way more repetitions than the rest of the competition. Maybe they're more physically developed. They've maybe gone through puberty at a younger age than the rest of the kids. It could also mean that they're playing many more tournaments than a lot of other kids as well. So the real test to see if a player is really good is that they're peaking and playing great tennis from when they're 16 to 18 years old, not when they're winning tons of matches in the 12 and unders and the 14 and unders. I can tell you a little story. So when I first started coaching, I was coaching a young boy. He was about 11 years old, and he was winning everything in the 12s. I'm talking the biggest 12 and under tournaments in the world, from the Eddie Herr to the Orange Bowl to the Super Nationals, and he was winning all of these tournaments. And the other coaches would come up to me and they would say, you know, what do you think of this young player? And I would say, well, I think he's going to be in trouble. And they'd all say, no, he's going to be a pro. Look at how good technically he is and all of these things. And I told them, I said, he needs to be playing up. He needs to be playing in much older divisions because he's winning way too much. So it was a big problem for him. As he started going to the 16s and the 18s, he started fizzling out a little bit. And I kind of saw this coming, but the other coaches thought that he was going to be a professional and he really was going to have an incredible career. And I said, I don't really see it. I see that he's a great 12-year-old, but I think that he may start plateauing. And then when he starts losing and the other kids start really catching up in the older age divisions, like the 16 and unders and the 18 and unders, then we're going to see what he has mentally. The real test is that you always keep developing your skills. You need to be winning, but you also need to be losing and learning from your losses. That's really how you learn. So if you're winning at a young age, this could be a big problem. I call it the superstar curse, right? And there were players in my generation, there were players in every single generation where the parents and the coaches are like, yeah, this kid is winning all these titles and everyone's so excited and the coach is happy and the parents are happy and the coach is happy that he's getting paid and everybody's really, really happy that there's a lot of winning going on and they're excited and all these types of things. That's all great, but what I can tell you is that the first and foremost, the most important thing is that you're developing for the future, not for the short term. When you have short-term thinking, your child is going to have some really tough periods when the rest of the competition catches up, and it could be technically, it could be with repetitions, it could be emotionally, it could be physically. I was a late bloomer. From a very young age, I had kids that were overpowering me. I didn't start growing till I was about 16 years old. So I was known as a little fighter, and I hit the ball big for my size, but these bigger kids would overpower me, and it was really hard for me to be beating these players in the 12s and 14s. It changed when I became 16 years old, and I grew, and I started going through puberty, and I started believing in myself, and I started catching up to these players, and many of them I surpassed. Why? Because I continued just to keep developing, but I was not winning too much at a young age. I was having some success, but I was not winning tournament after tournament and having that type of success. So here's what I can tell you. Make sure that if your child is going through different stages and they dominate a certain stage, bump them up to the next level of tournaments. Don't keep them there because they're going to get content by winning a lot, but you also need to learn how to lose. And this is very tough for coaches and parents and the kids, but it's crucial for your development. So best of luck with your tennis.